Good morning. Good morning. It is snowing heavily from New York City. I'm still kind of sick from, I was sick between Christmas and New Year's, and I feel like I'm still a little sick. I don't know, it's this weather. I think we're about to get a foot of snow out there in New York. So anyone from anywhere tropical, give me a shout out so I can be a little jealous. Welcome. When you guys get on, feel free to introduce yourselves. Even tell me where you're from. I would love to know if you are somewhere that's not cold. That would be great. All right. I shared on all my pages. Hello, hello. Coffee sip before we start. Thanks for the like. Thanks for joining, guys. Today I do not have notes. And I don't have notes because this is coming directly from the heart, and I was triggered this morning about this subject. And I kind of had a little bit of an epiphany, and I wanted to kind of talk about it. So, I will start by introducing myself. My name is Justine Lezzi. I'm a supporter of spiritual healing. I do intuitive coaching. I do spiritual teaching. I do crystal healing. I do a bunch of things. And I do this in support of, hi, thanks for joining. I do this in support of, all right, can you guys hear me? I just got a phone call. I think it stopped for a second. Okay, so I do this in support of getting people spiritually connected, empowering their intuition, helping them heal themselves, and I do this because I want everybody to create a life of emotional freedom, and spirituality has helped me do that. So I kind of want to just spread the word, right, and help people coach, mentor, teach, whatever I can do, and I believe I am capable of all of it. So I haven't exactly found my umbrella of what to call myself just yet. I like spiritual alchemist, but I'm not really sure if I'm keeping it. Anyway, that's not even part of that's my own things. I will go on with, what we're here to teach today. And this is actually, that's the thing. I'm not even sure if this is something to teach, but it's almost like if you haven't had a spiritual awakening, you're not really going to be sure what I'm talking about today. But it's good to be knowledgeable, and I would say stay on for the knowledge, because who knows, maybe it's coming for you. We don't know. But more than likely, if you're watching me, you are in this place of an awakening, right? Because you're staying on, you're watching my stuff, you're following my stuff, and I talk about this a lot. But this morning I was, I usually wake up sort of early. I let myself sleep in this morning. Like I said, I've been kind of battling this cold for a while. It's not kind of going away. So I let myself sleep in. Besides, SoulCycle would be closed today because of the snow. Everything is pretty much closed, I believe. Yeah, it's a pretty bad snowstorm over here in New York, in New York City. But, I go through my Snapchat in the morning, see what everybody's been up to when I went to bed early, and I kind of go through their stories, and I came across a story about celebrities and their crystals, and I just read it, and I just went through it, and I didn't really, a light bulb just went off in my head, because for me, navigating this spiritual awakening, which has happened to me about 4 to 5 years ago. It happened to me in 2013 at this point. And what are we in 2018 now? About almost 5 years ago, right? It's going to be 5 years, maybe 4.5. Anyway, my spiritual awakening story is that it happened very suddenly, and it happened very quickly, and I believe that I also had a Kundalini experience as well. Now, there's not a lot known on the Kundalini experience, so if you don't really know what that is, it's okay, because it's actually not known. But what happened to me was not this earth, is all I could really say. And it basically, from the research that I've done on it, is that, hi Deanna, is that it is a metaphorical snake that is coiled at the bottom of your spine shoots up and releases all of, really gets all of your, good morning, Lori, opens up all of your chakras all at the same time, and it is an intense emotional experience. And I believe on top of my spiritual awakening, on top of coming out of my narcissistic abusive relationship, and then on top of a spiritual awakening, I think I was in a place in 2013 that I never want to go again. I'm sorry that I just said I think, because I know I never want to go there again. And the good thing about a spiritual awakening is that it happens once, right? Because once you take, remember The Matrix, that movie where it's like you get to choose the pill, like, do you really want to know everything or do you not? Good morning, Juan. And, Neo takes the pill. Once you take the pill, it's over, right? And I took the pill unwillingly, right? And it's over, right? I went from unconscious to conscious. And it was kind of like my world turned upside down. So I started in a spiral of self-actualization, like, who am I? Why am I here? Then all of my gifts opened up at the same time. So if you can imagine that was extremely scary, where I had demons attacking me in the middle of the night. And guys, I'm being completely transparent here. I had a ton of psychic attacks. I was realizing I was an intuitive. I knew things were in the room with me. Things like that. So it's like, and guys, I'm being transparent with this because like I said, I had an epiphany, and I've been working through this not my entire life, the last 4 or 5 years, about being afraid to tell people who you really are. Right? And it really comes down to that. And, you can take that and take it out of the spiritual awakening, right? If you are bisexual or, whatever it is, telling people who you really are and owning up to it is something that is really important to me. And it could take a lifetime for people to really get there. But, going, like I was saying, I was going through Snapchat this morning and I read this article about, celebrities that love their crystals. And it's like, just because it's not in the mainstream and then somebody decided to do a story on it, there's other people out there just like me and who believe crystals have healing properties, which they do, which I believe that they do. And there are people that are behind the scenes doing, that are intuitives, are talking about paranormal experiences, are using angel cards every day, are, playing with crystals and putting them around their house and using them as a healing modality. There are people that do these things. And for so long, I put such a label on the fact that, oh my God, this is so weird. Nobody will ever love me. Nobody will ever accept me. I can't be my true self. Blah, 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 blah. But like I always say, the only thing that is keeping us, hell yeah, thank you for the likes. Hopefully some of you guys are resonating about it. And if you have your own story, like, please put it in the comments. I would love to hear. But basically, we're in our own way, right? We are always, the things that we don't have in our lives is merely because we don't want them, or we're keeping the obstacles in our own way. Put some hearts if that makes sense. For so long, like, I really dumb down the things that I do every day. And, when I go out, I use my house as a sanctuary, right? Like, I have my incense, I have my crystals, I have my angel cards, I pull it every morning. And, I don't tell a lot of people that because it's like this block, and I just, for some reason, like, I just don't want to be viewed as weird to other people. And it's just like, at the end of the day, I think my lipstick's a little messed up. But at the end of the day, why does it even matter what other people think of you? Yes, you've transformed. People need to accept that. And for me, for the longest time, I resisted it, right? I wanted to pretend these things didn't happen to me. And we absolutely need to get over. Yes, hell yes. I wanted for so long to pretend that these things didn't happen to me. I waited and prayed for so long to get back to normal. For so long. It's really sad. And then the truth of it is, it's like I said, once you take the pill, it's over, right? You're going through a spiritual awakening. And I'm realizing with the clients that I'm attracting in my intuitive coaching program, there are people that are just starting to go through their spiritual awakening as well. What does it mean? I'm seeing all these numbers. I'm really unhappy with my life. I feel really emotional. All of these things that are happening to them. I may have gifts. These things are happening to lots of people, and we're just not talking about it because we're afraid of looking weird or I've always had this deep-seated feeling that I was going to end up in a mental institution years and years before I had my spiritual awakening. I never understood why. I understand now, right? I understand now, but I always just thought that somebody was going to, anytime I ever give anybody a message, sometimes I'm like afraid of what they're going to say and go straight to the loony bin. But that's just not what it is. And I think also a lot of people, if you're like me, where it's actually, so basically there's a lot of, so I joined like a lot of like-minded communities so I can kind of feel connected to people that are similar to me. And a lot of these people have been this way ever since they could remember, right? For myself, there were clues when I look back, but I really was this fake self up until my spiritual awakening, if that makes sense. If you've gone through spiritual awakening, you kind of understand that. Not that I was purposely trying to be fake, because actually I am, one of my higher self is a truth seeker, right? So I wasn't trying to be fake. I was just unconscious, basically. So I wasn't conscious of who I really was and what I should really be doing with my life and what path I should be on and all that stuff. And, not using my inner guidance, my spirituality, my intuition. So basically, there are people that have been this way their whole lives, right? Like they are 5-6 years old. They are using their gifts, and then they finally get to their teenage stage and realize that not everybody is like them, right? Like, they're like, they don't talk to, people from another dimension. That's actually not normal. For people that are going through a spiritual awakening, especially ones that have it in their adulthood, I was long far into my adulthood at 27 years old where I had this spiritual awakening. So for me, I have spent 27 years being one way, and then it's been, what did I say, 4.5 years being the other way. So it's really hard sometimes for people to accept their new ways of being, right? And accepting their true selves. And that's going to be a lifelong journey for me, but I want to start here by feeling safe. And that's one of the things that I think is blocking me for in a lot of different ways, is I don't feel safe. And when I say I don't feel safe being in my own body. I don't feel safe being myself around everyone. I just don't feel safe. And that is a huge blocker in the things that I want to accomplish, the things that I want to do. And does this resonate with anyone? I hope so. Please put hearts if it does. It's just, I never really realized, I guess like the whole gist of my rambles is I never really realized that the spiritual awakening, on top of the traumas between my narcissistic abuse, getting out of my narcissistic abusive relationship, and then on top of that, the spiritual awakening itself was a trauma. And I know it's kind of controversial to say that, because it was actually the most beautiful and most prominent thing that has ever happened to me in my life. And without it, I know I wouldn't be where I am. I know I wouldn't be as happy as I am, as conscious as I am, obviously, and single-handedly the best thing that has ever happened to me. But there's also this trauma, because it's actually a death of something, and you're mourning something. You're mourning the person that you thought that you were, and that is a trauma in itself. And it's okay to understand that, and it's okay to accept that. It's okay. And I never really dealt with that trauma because I was so badly trying to recover from the narcissistic abusive relationship, right? And trying to learn my gifts at the same time. And not until I actually got a coach and worked with a coach about a year later, after all this happened, is when I started to feel a little bit more normalized. Because she helped me through talking about the things that were happening to me, astral projecting, very vivid dreams, some mediumship qualities, everything, right? Everything. So I guess I'm here to tell you guys, and I'm here for mostly support, and this is not a spiritual teaching Facebook Live today. I know, I realize that, but I just wanted to get on and tell everybody my story, because I think a lot of people don't understand that, yes, the spiritual awakening can come with trauma, and it's okay to mourn the death of your old self, and it's okay to be scared, and it's okay to question yourself whether you're crazy 25 times a day or more, which was my life for a really long time, and it's still my life. It's okay to do those things, and it's pretty typical, right? I don't want to use the word normal, especially with what I'm talking about right now, but it's actually pretty typical. So it's okay, and you just have to move into the space where you're accepting of yourself, where you want to be more of yourself. When you meet new people, you want to introduce yourself as your new self, and I believe that awakening is happening inside us when our souls truly align with our body, heart, and mind. Exactly. And awakenings only come to you with the right, like, everything is orchestrated perfectly by the universe, right? So this awakening is happening to you for a reason, and it is a gift, right? I know I'm saying it's a trauma, but I think everything that is a trauma is actually a gift as well. Abusive relationships, deaths, all those things. They all teach us something. They all make us stronger. They all give us a lesson to learn. So in that case, they are 110%, of course. In that case, sorry, I feel like my lipstick is like all over the place here. So 100%, teaching us a lesson, and so it's always a great gift, right? So I'm here to tell you it's okay to not be okay, right? And if you're going through a spiritual awakening, that is also something I deal with my coaching. Please reach out to me. I know yesterday I told you I was going to put my schedule in the comments. I forgot. I'm sorry. It was a kind of crazy day yesterday. But if you want to do a quick chat, I am on Facebook Messenger, so you can reach me there. All right. I know this was kind of ranting, but I felt like it needed to be done. So everybody in my area, please stay safe, stay warm, and I will be on... Actually, you know what? I think it's like... I always say my area, but I actually think it's like going up the East Coast, this storm. I don't know. I actually have to check into it, but... Anyway, everybody stay safe. Everybody stay warm. I will be on tomorrow, and thanks for watching. Bye, guys.